Candy at Hainsworth Designs, and thank you so much for joining in today. This is a video request, and it comes from Lorraine from Texas. She is enrolled in my mentoring program for home-based embroidery business owners, and those of you who know about this program know that my students get first priority with video requests. And her request was how to change the needle on a multi-needle embroidery machine. Well, for starters, Lorraine, you are going to need these two tools. This is a circular head screwdriver, so it is not an ordinary screwdriver, and you're going to need this applicator. Now, this applicator is actually a threader and a needle holder, okay? And I'll show you how it works. I know you see me pushing it like so, like in a syringe-like motion, but I really want you to pay close attention to what the tip looks like, okay? So as you can see, it has these little arms that reach out here, and that's where the thread goes, and then it has a little arm that grabs the needle. Okay, so it's going to look like this. Okay, so pretend as if this was the needle head. Of course, I'm going to give you a better demonstration, but I just want to kind of show you what it does. So it holds the needle like so, okay, and it allows you to insert the needle inside of the machine. But in my opinion, you cannot replace this because this fits inside of the multi-needle machine precisely. It unloosens the needle and it tightens the needle, okay? And you cannot get around it because if your needle is not tightened properly, or if it's too loose or something like that, it's not going to work. However, you can get around having this, okay? You can simply use a tweezer, and with some maneuvering, you can apply the needle or even the thread, because this is a two-part applicator. You can apply the needle or the thread with a tweezer. Okay, but without further ado, let me get you over to the embroidery machine and show you how this is done. Okay, so for starters, this is a close-up look on my machine, my dusty machine, but I just wanted to kind of show you where that screwdriver is going to go. So if you look ahead, you're going to see those holes, and those holes are going to be here. Okay, this is where the screwdriver is going, and what happens is it unloosens the needle gets loosened and it will drop down, and instead of it just dropping down into, let's say, the cavity of the embroidery machine, you want to hold it while you are loosening it. So you want to use both hands, okay? So let's say your left hand will have the screwdriver and your right hand will hold on to the needle in place. So let me show you how this is done. Okay, so direct your attention to the embroidery head, which is this one with the needle with the pink thread. Okay, so this is the one that we are going to be looking at, okay? So once again, the screwdriver, it has a circular tip, and that's because it's going to fit precisely inside of that socket where the needle is in place, okay? And so I'm going to pull it out because I want to take my applicator. Now remember, the applicator, it has an arm, but it extends out. That hook, which is right here, that is what you are going to put around the needle, okay? So watch closely. I'm hooking. So I'm pressing it, extending it, and then hooking, okay? So now, if you see, I'm not even holding it at this point. It has such a firm grip for such a little tiny applicator. It can really hold it. So now while it's holding it, you want to take your screwdriver and you want to unscrew your needle, and then you will feel your needle. You see how this starts to, you remove your screw, and then you want to just kind of help your needle slide down, and at this point it may fall, but if you're careful, you can kind of just grab it and then pull it off of the machine like so. Okay, so before we replace the needle, I want you to look at the shaft that we just took the needle out of, the head that is. All right, now look at this one, and look at that one, and now look at this one, okay? Now these still have needles attached to it. Direct your attention to this little window here, Okay, if you look at this window, it's empty, and I can actually stick my pointer of the screwdriver inside. But if you look at this little window, if you look closely, you can see a little head peeking through as the others. Okay, that is actually the needle head. So when you put the needle inside, it's going to peek above with this little head showing, and then you will be able to tighten it. So once again, we're going to insert the needle here, and you're going to watch for the head of the needle to appear like this one and like that one, and then you'll be able to tighten it here. Let's do it. Before we insert the needle back into the machine, I wanted to go over the anatomy of the needle very briefly. And so we have a circular side and we have a flat side. Okay, so I'm sure that you are aware of this already, but I just want to make sure that you are aware of the flat side. Okay, and the flat side is going to be the side that's away from you, and that's how it's inserted, like so. So what's facing you is the circular side. This is how it should be inside of the applicator as well, because this is how it's going to go into the machine in an upright position. Okay, and so I am holding the needle, and once again the circular part or the round part is facing me with the flat surface facing away from me, and that is the way that is going to be inserted in the machine. If you look closely, I am actually in the middle or towards the top of the surface of the needle shaft, okay? And so that means that I have a lot of room extended here to get the needle into this little area right here. So I want to show you exactly what I'm talking about. I'm going to just kind of maneuver this down like so I can get the needle up. You see that? And that's where it is going. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is just help it along a little bit by, let me just kind of pull back so you can see what I'm doing here. I'm going to help it along a little bit by just kind of guiding it like so. And the reason why is because I actually have the camera in front of me and I don't want to drop it. Okay, and so I'm going to just slide down the applicator so this way I can slide the needle up in place. Okay, I want to make sure that the needle is up all the way. So you see how it went up all the way? In place, right? And now I just want to make sure, so now pay attention to that little window, and if you look in that little window, you'll see. Okay, and so what I was saying is that if you pay attention to that little window, you can see the little head peeking through. Okay, and now you want to come in with your screwdriver and you just want to tighten it. I'm sorry if my big hand is in the way. In place. And you will feel when this screw, when the socket is actually tightened, because it won't be able to do it anymore. Okay, so you want to make sure, and at this point you can actually let go of the applicator, and then you can just go back in there and reinforce it just to make sure that it's tightened. And now that is how you have removed your needle and taken off your needle. So let's go over what we actually did here once again. Okay, so let's go over this one more time very briefly. All right, so you are going to have the needle in your applicator, making sure that the circular part of your needle is facing you and the flat part is facing the embroidery machine. If it is not in this position, if it is shifted in any way, it will not work. Okay, and then you want to make sure that you have enough room extended with your needle part so you can get it inside of the embroidery foot. And then you want to be able to insert it inside of the shaft, okay, or the chamber, the needle chamber. And you want to make sure that it's all the way inside of the needle chamber. Otherwise, it's not going to work properly, okay. And so I just had to adjust my applicator some. And I'm going to take my finger and actually help it along so, like so. All right, and then you want to take your screwdriver and tighten it in place like so, and you will feel it tighten it on you until you cannot tighten it anymore. You want to remove your applicator, remove your screwdriver, and there you have it. You've just replaced your needle. So this is how you replace the needle, whether it breaks on you, whether it's dull, or you are inserting needles for the first time. This is how you do it. And so if you have any other video requests, any of my students, if you have any other video requests, you know you can send me an email. And Lorraine, if you need these tools, let me know. I don't know if your machine have them or if it came with it. It should have came with it. But if you need replacements, let me know. It is the screwdriver and the applicator. That's all I have for you today. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel, leave a comment. And if you would like to join the embroidery mentoring program that I have for home-based businesses, send me an email and I will let you know when another slot is open. Once again, that's all I have for you today. You can come and join me on Embroidery Boss if you are an embroidery business owner or a hobbyist, or you can visit me at candy@hainsworth.com on Facebook.